As you guys probably know, I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh boomer. I mean, I've been playing this game since 2005, dude. I've been in this game. I've seen almost every format minus like a 6 month period where I took a break from the game because fucking Judgment Rulers are insane. But I wake up this morning, and after hearing all the shenanigans going around Master Duel and how there's a ton of hype behind it, I was skeptical when I saw that it was freshly launched on PC, PS4, and I think other consoles as well. I didn't have a lot of faith going into this because I lived through a period where Konami really hates online simulators, and the ones that they do provide for us are very pay to win. They're very not user friendly, and they're not comparable to Dueling Book or Yugioh Pro, where people can just jump on and test their favorite deck without having to worry about pop ups and in game purchases that are non cosmetic, and a whole bunch of other stuff. It's just not really what Yu-Gi-Oh's for in terms of a testing environment. So just because all my friends are playing it, and I just decided to screw it. It sounded like fun, so I jumped in and I got it. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it's a little bit of a game changer for us. The game is not. It's not Duel Links. That's why people seeing a lot of people comparing to. It is not Duel Links at all. It is very user friendly. The crafting system on its own basically revolutionized how we see modern Yu-Gi-Oh simulators because we don't have to worry about things like digging 200 packs into a single box to pull one copy of Necros Zabrianak, you know what I mean? Or going into like Duel Links and you have to refresh one box 3 times and buy it out every single time because that one ultra rare is at the bottom of the box and you just never seem to get it. You could spend $100 and not get a single card that you want. But with this, you're able to build any deck you want. That's not necessarily for free, but there's a good middle ground for Konami to not only make money and for us to have a good time. So I'm going to go ahead and just talk about this a little bit. Uh, First off, the format is very different here. It's basically the previous OCG ban list. So it's not, at this point in time on January 20th, the ban list has not come out for TCG, but the OCG's had theirs for about a month. The ban list that came out before that ban list is what we're currently working with. So we have Colossus out 1, VFD's out 1, and of course Maxi's at 3, which is massive. But I'll get into that in a bit. We have things like Roar and Hawk hit, but we have other cards like Striker. Oh my goodness. Striker. Enter. Bob. Striker is also in here with things like Kagari, but engages at 2, and then they have 3 multi-roll and a whole bunch of other stuff. And it's kind of weird because TCG players are very infamous for being really, how you say, stubborn about how we run our format. We don't like change all that much unless it's for the better. And that change usually comes in the form of like bans and limiting of decks that are tearing up the format or are very annoying to deal with. TCG is more rather to kill an archetype than it is to let it live for a few more formats so that it has a chance to be played, even in a rogue setting. But in OCG, they don't have this. They have, like, they're okay with things like Engage being at 2 and Kagari at 1 and making the deck still playable, just because a lot of people like playing the deck, not just for competitive edge. For example, and even with Thunder Dragons, like, they have these cards, limited and semi-limited, but we also have Colossus at 1. Also, the deck, or for example, just continuing off the 2019 decks, Harp Horror is at 1, but Galatea and the in-archetype Armageddon Knight, that's also a Mech Knight, is at 1 as well. But more importantly, Maxi's at 3, which for us, we don't have any of. And this is like the one everyone points to. It's like, oh no, we can't play OCG, but yeah, we're running it, and people are actually starting to run OCG and learn that it's actually a really good format. They're very balanced. There's a lot of different decks you can play. Given the format is not up to date in terms of the card pool. For example, Sword Soul is not in the format. DPE, I believe none of the cards from Dawn of Majesty are here, but we do have like the Tri-Brigade stuff and the Lyrilusk stuff. So we have the spell card. We have. Hey, let me just look it up. I'm gonna butcher the name because I don't know how to spell it, but Lyr. Is that how it's spelled? There we go. Yeah, we have all the new Lyrilless stuff, even though most of it's not. And we have all the Tri Brigade stuff as well. Like we have Recital, we have all the new ones, including Bird Call, and this is probably the best deck in the format right now if you wanted to play modern TCG. It's just nice that now we're finally starting to see people play OCG, and I'm hoping that this will translate that for the TCG players that play IRL are more open to having Konami take an OCG banlist approach when it comes to our format, where we don't instantly murder a deck, or instead of we actually appropriately use the semi-limited list to go off there. For example, like Meltdown's at 2, the Deer Servant I believe is at 1. What else is at 2? Engage is at 2. It's a lot better in my opinion for that reason. Anyway, in terms of the game itself and deck building, it's really, really solid. How it works is off of the crafting system, and this is the thing I really wish they would import to more games like this. Like, I wish Hearthstone had this. Duel Links would absolutely be better for having this, even if it's like reserved to set, and I'll get to that in a moment. But it's really easy to build a deck. I have spent $0 on this game. I bought it for free on Steam, and then I just decided to pick it up and play it. I've been playing for about 24 hours now, and I've literally made everything here for free. I put Colossi in here. I put Colossus in here. I got 3 Titans. I got hand traps. And Konami even makes it easy to pick up these cards. You can craft them, which I'll get into in just a moment as well. And then there's also things like bundle deals, where you can just pick up these relatively good staples for cheaper than it would be to buy 10 packs. And you get 10 packs as well. So you get a bunch of packs, and you get a staple that you can run in your deck and you don't have to craft. Given you can't deconstruct it and make something else out of it. But that's a non-issue when you're talking about something like this. Or when you're talking about staples that you're just going to use in every single deck. Anyway, so how the crafting system works is you see up here you got these different tokens and whatever. You can destruct any single item to get 10 tokens of that particular rarity. So like if I wanted to make, or if I wanted to destruct Maxi, which I don't dare do because I worked my butt off to get these, I would get 10 of the ultra rare credit because it's an ultra rare. And then I can turn 30 credits into any ultra rare in the game. Literally out of the entire card pool, I can just pick up any ultra, and for 30 gems, or for 30 tokens, I could just make a copy. That is fantastic. It strikes the perfect balance between pay to win, because now if you want to pay more money to get this stuff a lot faster, you can, but free-to-play players are not locked out of entire archetypes because they're not locked behind specific sets, and you can just craft any card in the game you want. If you pull an ultra rare, no matter what card it is, it's always a good thing because you can get another copy of or more cards later down the road. My one gripe that I have about this is that the deck building simulator itself is garbage. Watch this. I think I had this game crash on me like 8 times last night, and it just crashed again. Cool. Yeah, this is by far the most annoying thing about the game, is that it is 100% got some problems in terms of like stability issues. Because I'm not even running this on like any high res or anything. My computer's not garbage. I'm also here. My computer's garbage, but I think the sheer fact that there's everybody in the game is playing this right now might be a problem. But you would think it would be a lot easier. It would make playing the game a lot harder, but not deck building. So yeah, that game just crashed. So that's cool. Yeah, close program. Sick. I'm gonna go ahead and open it again. Anyway, but yeah, the stability issues is my number one problem. It's crashed on me like 10 or 11 times at this point. Hell, I even did it in the middle of the recording. That wasn't even planned. That was just something that happened. Yeah, so that's definitely my biggest complaint here. But that might just be because a lot of people are playing it right now, which, to be fair, it's definitely worth playing. Let's go ahead and go over the shop. So they're actually doing the packs fairly well here. So the first thing you're going to find is that the first 2 packs contain good cards. The first one being like meta-relevant cards, right? You got like Striker, you got like Tri-Brigades, you got the whole multi-figure or all the Altergeist cards in here. Thunder was in here, Eldritch is in here. Staples like Twin Twisters, Desires is also in here. It's really solid for this. The second one is more or less just legacy stuff. So cards that you might want to pick up because you saw it in the anime. So like Firewall, Stardust, Blue Eyes stuff. A couple of decent staples like Mirror Force and Dark Hole, but these, when you have access to things like droplets and whatever, these are basically irrelevant, just like in the TCG. The one thing I do have with packs is this. So you'll notice that these packs are, how many cards are in here? There are 80 cards in this pack. And then in the second one, give in mind, this is also just entirely staples and good cards. In the second one, there is also 80 cards. And you get a bunch of legacy stuff. Not really great cards, but they're cards people might want to pick up just because it's fun. Go to Master Pack, though. This is the one that has most everything else in the game. Check this out. 6,750 cards. And if you want to pull something like Ash Blossom, Imperm, Nibiru is not in here. Thank God it's in another set. Maxi, fucking Effect Veiler. You have to buy this pack because it doesn't come in any of the other two packs. And that, in my opinion, is bogus. But there is one way Konami has gone about fixing this. So, say, for example, you pick up, or you pull an ultra rare hero card, for example. You will get access to these secret sets. So basically, if you pull any of these cards down here, you have access to this set, which still has a lot of cards, but you're more likely to pull these individual cards, which is how I built Thunder Dragons. I just got a bunch of gems by playing the game, which, by the way, gems are not at all hard to get, but we'll get into that in just a moment as well. And then you just get access to all these secret packs. Given these packs only last for 24 hours, see, for example, I built this last night, and I'm already done like 15 minutes left. But the rest of these are, like, if you wanted to build these archetypes, this is how you would do it. You would just simply craft one card from the set, then you would just go into this and just spend a lot of your gems to get it, and if you pull any garbage, you can turn it into more cards that you need. Also, if you unlock a new pack by crafting a single card, you get one free pack of this set. So occasionally, you just get a bunch of free cards, which is awesome. Now, how do you go about getting gems? Well, there's two major ways. The first way is the Duel Pass, which is it's kind of like the Battle Pass system for Yu-Gi-Oh! Like if you've played Fortnite or 7 Day, or not 7 days, like Rainbow Six, you've seen Battle Pass. You've seen this before. Everybody pretty much knows what this is if you're a modern day gamer. But for 600 gems, which is not hard to get at all, by the way, you get access to the Gold Pass, which is basically the premium version. You get 50 extra tiers, and you can get a bunch of random cool stuff, like little characters you can have on your side, like this. And then you can have cool backgrounds, and you get a bunch of gems, and you get a bunch of crafting material, which is also good. Also, there's missions, which is, if you've played Duel Links, this is basically the same thing, except the amount of gems you get from this is insane. I think I got like 10,000 in like playing like 4 hours last night. It was insane how much I can get. And I'm only down to 2,000 or 200 now. You can also get them from doing solo mode, which is basically like just offline mode. You got the first two ones are basically tutorials. This one I would definitely recommend doing if you're just about to, or if you just got the game, because you get, I think, 200 gems for completing each one or each tier. Let's take a look here. Yeah, for each one of these, you get a few hundred gems. You get starter decks. You get a whole bunch of cool stuff. The one gripe I do have is that when you're doing these, you actually pick up this deck that they're based on, for example. So, like, I did this one, and you get, let's see, you get a whole bunch of, like, Element Saber cards and whatever. You can't scrap those, which is unfortunate, because that would be nice, because you could just turn, by completing these, you usually get a playset of the card, which means you can just scrap them and then buy another card. But unfortunately, you can't do that. Konami has purposely stopped us from doing that, which is kind of unfortunate. It would make a better reason for players to play solo mode, because once you go to dual mode, this is basically the PvP. It's the way you get started in terms of it's what you're working towards. It's the essential gameplay loop, for example, that makes you want to make better decks. Anyway, yeah, and then there's also, you can get friends. So, like, if you have your friends on Steam, you can share your IDs with them, and then you get stuff. The gift box is also a thing. I would imagine this is going to work the same way as Duel Links, but there's nothing in here as of yet. At least I've not gotten anything. And yeah, if I'm honest with you, this is exactly what we needed for a Duel Sim. Given, in my opinion, it's still not better than Nexus, Yugioh Pro, or Dueling Book, just based off the fact that you have to work for the cards and you can't just test with it. So, in my opinion, this is a better Duel Links. It's basically the same format, minus a few changes between TCG and OCG. And if I was to bet, I would say by the time that we actually get like the full final, like up-to-date version of this game with all the new cards, they're either going to make it region locked, where the TCG will be playing TCG ban list and OCG will be OCG ban list, or, and I'll get into this a little bit more later, I have a feeling they might merge the two formats. This might give them a reason to, but that's that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother time. I'll probably make a separate video on my conspiracy theory about that. Yeah, and it's just really nice. It's like I said, it's not better than Duel Links, or excuse me, it's not better than Dueling Book or any of the other modern testing software that we have that is not on brand. But it's a good start. It's probably the best Konami game that's come out for Yu-Gi-Oh in a long time, barring Duel Links if we're talking just player numbers. But this, if you're gonna start in a Yu-Gi-Oh, is the best place to do it. You can see how the cards work. You can get your feel for the cards. You can actually pick up modern day staples and test if you absolutely want to sink your time into doing so. And on top of that, you can use the OCG ban list, which would give us a reason to test OCG, which in my opinion is a completely better format in terms of balancing. And plus, Colossus is that one. You can't be mad at a format where Thunder Dragon Colossus is that one. So yeah, good game. 8 out of 10. Would definitely recommend playing if you're new to this. I hope you guys enjoyed. I genuinely want to talk about this in the comments, so if you guys are watching this, please comment something. I would love to have a chat. Even if the video is like a year out of date, I'll still be checking just because I'm a schmuck that has no social life. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good one.